The morning of day 4. Cooler today because it's overcast.
Oh, fish.
Here is my brass Hudson's Bay tobacco tin. So the fire is lit, but the video is not over because this is also a catch and cook walleye.
Yeah, the wood smoke. This is like being right next to a fire now.
Dueling cameras here.
Oh,
We're both trying to catch this footage.
smoke's in my eyes now like crazy, man.
Yeah, I feel it stinging.
Yeah.
Baby pike. It's just little, about 5 inches, 6 inches long, hanging out in this creek. Probably a lot safer than hanging out in the big lake because he would get eaten by another pike out there. It's the morning of day 4. Cooler today because it's overcast. Some forest fire smoke still on the horizon, but not those big plumes of it that we saw in earlier days. So we are still base camped on Haven Lake, and we just canoed down to Cyclops, and this is a portage into Ross Dual Lake. Hey,
How'd you get there?
I just walked along the shore, just bush crashed. So there's a short portage and it takes you to a spot where I guess when water levels are at their normal height you can canoe through here, but the water levels are very low. So we actually just have been skirting the edge. There's the wooded beardsman with all the rest of our stuff. It's also Chris's 40th birthday today. Happy birthday!
Thanks.
Is this what you would do on your 40th birthday?
You just went right through?
Yep.
Alright.
What's going on?
Oh, fish. There you go.
Hey.
2 for dinner.
Going on.
Bigger one. Big pike. Or a giant walleye. If it's a pike, we're eating it?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Depends on how big it is. If it's a good eating size. There you go.
Woo! Didn't like that, did it? That's a big net fail there,
Just flip the net around. There you go.
The net goes the other way?
Now you.
There we go. Now I got a big mess.
The net.
Oh. There you go. Is that enough for lunch?
Oh yeah,
Alright.
for sure.
Go.
Hey guys, One Wildcrafter here. I am 4 days into a fly-in trip in Woodland Caribou Provincial Park. We were dropped off 4 days ago by Red Lake Outfitters, and we're here on an 8-day trip. And I'm going to take a little moment here to show you how I'm going to light a fire using my Hudson Bay tobacco tin or Voyageur's fire kit. I heard that coming up to Woodland Caribou Provincial Park is a little bit like traveling back in time, so mixed in with my modern gear, I also dressed up in some clothing that would be appropriate to the past. So I've got my felt hat, Voyageur shirt, my Voyageur's sash, and a beautiful pair of moccasins that Delphine made for me, as well as some other items. So have a look. Here is my brass Hudson's Bay tobacco tin, and what I read about these is that the voyageurs would carry these in their big trade canoes, and they would have their tobacco in here or their other fire starting materials. Maybe they would have their tobacco separately in a pouch, and when they wanted to have a smoke break out on the water, light up their pouches, they would use this magnifying glass to light a piece of char cloth or a piece of charred jute twine, and from that they could light their pipe. So it was a very quick way. As long as the sun was shining, they could light little fires while on the water in their canoes. So that's one thing that we could try, is using the magnifying glass. I have a few other fire starting tricks in here. So these are pieces of the false tinder polypore, the horsehoof mushroom. Sorry, I was just pulling an ant off my leg. This is a cocoon from a moth, and it's really dry. I thought it might actually burn well, so I just threw it in here as a curiosity. I have a little bit of waxed cotton for catching sparks. I have a feather pendant that I can use as a striker. I also have a piece of quartzite rock for striking sparks with my steel, and I have a few pieces in here also of flint and Voyageur's cheats, some paper matches, which have been in here for a long time. It'll be interesting to see if they've actually kept dry inside of this little brass pouch. Okay, we're going to collect some old man's beard or other dry lichens. So you can see the forest behind me here, and in lots of places in Woodland Caribou Park, Provincial Park, is black spruce. Black spruce everywhere, and then you're going to get stands of jack pine. In the burnt over areas, you're going to get some willows and aspens maybe. Around our campsite, we've got a lot of juniper growing. And in the burns you find lots of blueberries, which is really great. But in the spruce forests, you'll be able to find and collect lots of dry lichen, and this is really great for throwing a spark into this, or if we light up a piece of my tinder polypore mushroom, which will form a coal, then to use this as a tinder bundle to get our flame. Okay, while we're in this really dry spruce forest, we're also going to grab up a small handful of the smallest dry dead spruce branches that we can find, and that is not hard to do here. We'll gather a little bit more than this. I've been wearing this sash and shirt for 4 days now, so I'm really kind of getting a feel for how to wrap the sash and tie it so it's secure, and it's pretty comfortable to wear. It's hand woven wool. So a couple things I was really surprised about is that even though it's stinking hot out here, it doesn't feels super hot around where I've got this sash wrapped, and like there are layers and layers of wraps. It's 12 feet long, this sash, and I've wrapped it two ways. So one is at its full width, which is 10 inches, and then it kind of goes up over my belly button and covers a lot of my stomach and back. That would probably be pretty good if I did want to keep warm. What I've been doing the last couple of days is folding it over, so doubling it so it's only 5 inches wide. You might even be able to double it again, so it'd only be 2.5 inches wide, and then it fits a little bit more like a belt. And if you wrap it nice and tight, it gives you pretty good back support. Like, we've been in and out of the canoe all day, portaging. I have not been carrying the standard 90-pound load of the Voyageur, but carrying some heavy loads nonetheless, and it's been really comfortable. I kind of feel like the sash, I feel a little bit like a peacock and its tail feathers. Like, it's pretty showy, but it also must get in the way sometimes for a peacock to drag that tail around, and the sash definitely has that feel to it, at least a long one like this. It often kind of falls out of the canoe and lands in the water, and when that happens, I was really surprised to see that it floats rather than sinking. So then you pull it up and it's not even hardly wet, and it does tend to grab twigs and things, but it hasn't really gotten tangled on me yet. So the worst is if you're crouching and you accidentally step on the tail of your sash, and then you try to stand up and it lurches you over sideways. Anyway, here's our fire pit. So the fire pit's here behind me. I have my twig bundle, and where's my pouch and my tinder? Oh, look, I've got this really fabulous sash that just holds all kinds of goodies in the folds. Just want to have a good pile of mid-sized wood after I get those fine twigs lit. Have something small to go on those before I throw the big firewood on. There's no shortage of firewood around here. That should do it. Alright, let's try this out with the magnifying glass today. Get ourselves a nice piece of the tinder mushroom. Put it inside of our tinder bundle here. Take the lid off the magnifying glass. I think this is a 6-power magnifying glass, and then you just have to line it up with the sun. I see a bit of smoke. So the nice thing about the tinder polypore is that once you get it lit, it kind of burns as a coal, so that piece right there is lit. It's working.
on right now?
Yep.
You'll probably need more, like, put that all over the top of it, smoosh it in there.
It's good.
Hold it tight, 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 tight. Tighter than you think. Tight, tight, tight. Smoosh it.
Just a second, it's burning a hole through my...
Yeah, that's why it has to be super, super, super tight. Without snuffing it. You want to stop it and keep going?
No, it's good. I'm just gonna move it over to a new nest here.
Guess what? You're just out of frame.
Was I?
There, now you're in frame. One really, really, really hard one. There you go.
Ow! Well, it's hot.
Overacting.
Oh my god! So the fire is lit, but the video is not over because this is also a catch and cook walleye. So hang in there. There's more cooking of walleye, wild rice, vegetables, and weird kind of a campy, suitable food that I found that I've never tried before. So we're gonna trial it, and I'll show you about that as well. We're gonna contemplate the forest fires. We're gonna dab them. Do you know how to dab? Yeah, you have a kid, you must know how to dab. Cutting up a little bit of dead spruce firewood here, and there's some pretty good blobs of spruce sap on it, and rather than throw those in the fire, I'm just going to save those up. I got a little project in mind later. So, does it look a little different here now? Tarp set up. It might not really show, but everything's soaking wet now. We were all set getting our food on the fire, and then a thunderstorm just kind of rolled in, and we had one strike of lightning real close by and a whole bunch of heavy rain, and then it just lightened right back up again. But there's still thunder in the distance, so we'll see what happens there. And there are still forest fires in the distance despite the bit of rain. I don't even know if it hit them over there, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I spotted this in my grocery store and I couldn't resist. It is red cabbage with apple, and it is basically ready to eat straight out of the pouch. So it's just one of these soft pouches, and it's got a tearaway top, so you would just rip the top and warm it up. You only have to cook it for 3 minutes. You only have to warm it up for 3 minutes, I think. So there are 400 grams in here. That's 3 servings. Every serving has only 90 calories, but it's got 4 grams of fiber and some sugar and carbs. So it seems like an interesting way to get some vegetables in on a trip. Vegetables and fruits.
Wow. There, yep, that's wood smoke.
Yeah, you can smell it.
Oh, dude. What are we gonna do, man?
So the thunderstorm must have hit that fire, and then the wind has changed direction, and we're just going to be living in this smoke soon.
That's a ton of wood smoke. Wow. Holy shit.
Pretty soon you won't even be able to see those islands, maybe.
Yeah, look at the islands at the back. Remember how you could see them 2 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Look at that. They completely disappeared. That's insane. Yeah, the wood smoke, this is like being right next to a fire now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, well, now that you're in the smoke, you would think it's way closer than... We know it's not that close, but... You would think. Oh. Might be a thunderstorm coming in on top of it, too. Guys, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. The sun doesn't set until 9:20, and it is this dark in the forest. How crazy that is. See the sky through the trees here? This is the sky to the south. And I'll tell you what happened. It's so dark because when that thunderstorm came through, there was a big change in wind direction, and it blew all that forest fire smoke down and then right across the landscape. Oh man. On our other side, it's just dark. This side's beautiful. Big orange skies. It's all forest fire smoke. Like the sun is still high in the sky. And it's being like obscured. It's so interesting to me. Like, I've never been in a forest fire haze like this before. And I mentioned this in another video, like, people would have lived this. Anybody in this boreal environment, this would have been a fact of life. Forest fires burning on a fairly regular basis. They can just be struck up from lightning. Or if you're careless with your fire, you can just start an inferno. You hear the thunder and the lightning? Hear the thunder, I mean? There's a thunderstorm coming. Yeah, it's so dark. I'm gonna switch this on night mode. I don't know if it's gonna go into night shot mode. Oh, there it is. Like, it's actually hard to see the path. It's almost, well, for sure, if it was this dark and it was night, you'd be using a flashlight. Crazy. And then as soon as you get into the trees, I can't see anything with my eyeballs.
Dude, it's pitch black and it's like 4:30.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crazy.
the wind coming off the lake now is crazy.
The fire is blowing right into us here.
Oh. It's nuts. Is that from the fire going out?
Well, or just all the smoke coming down. Here we're on like dueling cameras here.
Oh.
We're both trying to catch this footage.
The smoke's in my eyes now like crazy, man.
Yeah, I feel it stinging.
Yeah, really badly actually.
Yeah.
I gotta watch my footage.
go grab my flashlight so that I can go tie the canoe down extra well. At least it's blowing it towards us and not away from us.
I
But
don't think you want to go down there, to be honest, man.
well, I probably couldn't pick the canoe up in this wind anyway.
Oh,
I'm gonna put my camera away because it's getting wet here, even though we're under a tarp. Started coming down pretty hard, so we ran for it. Couldn't keep out of the rain under that little tarp, and the wind was just wicked. So I grabbed the fish and ran, and I had to get out of my Voyageur clothes. They were soaking wet. They'll be a while drying out. And we are here in my tent, and we're gonna try some of this fish. We'll show you one taste, I guess, and then we'll give you an update on the storm after. Gonna try some?
yeah, right now?
Soggy walleye? Yeah, give it a bite. Tell everybody what you think.
I'm gonna go for the back. It's actually perfectly cooked.
Yeah.
After all that.
It's not too soggy.
No.
Wow. Well, there we go. Successful cook despite the smoke and the thunder and the lightning and the rain. That was a scramble though. Oh,
We didn't finish the rest of our meal though.
no.
We still got 2 left. Ah. All right, man. We're over on we're over at Jeremy's tent now. We salvaged the fish. Our rice is still out there. We're supposed to just sit down and have fun. And I guess it still is. And it's pouring rain, as you guys can tell. So we're just gonna take a couple bites of the walleye. Maybe we'll finish up the rest of the meal. Maybe we won't. Yeah, the rest of the day looks like this. But surprisingly, it's actually perfectly cooked. So there's that. After all that. Alright guys. I think that's it for this video. You can subscribe or not, I don't care. Subscribe to Jeremy, One Wild Crafter on YouTube. And if you guys want to come out to Woodland Caribou Provincial Park, you still want to come out, let Harlan know at Red Lake Outfitters, because it's probably not going to be like this when you come. Alright guys, see you later. Oh, lightning!
Well, it's been about an hour. I think it's 10 to 6 or something. And just kind of relaxing. It lightened up again, but it's been raining. It's just raining lately now. There's a big thunderstorm still probably within a couple kilometers of us. Big booms of thunder. There was lightning just now. Listen. Goes and goes, crack, and then rolling thunder. It's pretty cool. But every time I just start to fall asleep, then something like that wakes me up. Can you imagine if we had gone into Rossstool Lake? So we got to Rossstool Creek and the water was too low, and we did the portages, but we even had to portage the parts that you can paddle when the water is at a regular level. But they were, oh, I got sunburned today too. Anyway, the water was really low, so we carried our canoes, and then it seemed like it wasn't worth going that far. So we just turned around and came back. But if we had gone that far, we probably would have got caught out in that storm. Imagine, like, all we had with us were fishing rods in our backpacks with a little bit of food. No tarp. We would have been huddled under the canoe for hours. Miserable. So it turned out alright in the end. But we have a big pot of rice and vegetables sitting out there. And I guess we'll warm it up later. We'll have a late supper. We have a few more fish to cook later too, but that's more thunder. That's it for this one. So I hope you enjoyed another adventure here in Woodland Caribou Provincial Park. You can see a different take on this by visiting the Wooded Beardsman's channel. And there'll be more episodes here. It's nap time for me. I'm really dehydrated too. I think I only peed twice today at 6 o'clock in the evening. I just was drinking water and drinking water and drinking water, and I guess I just sweated all out when it was humid there earlier, but I'm just going to keep on drinking water and try and keep myself hydrated.